When Arthur, my beloved husband, passed away, it wasn't just silence that enveloped me. It felt like the world had lost its very essence. We had journeyed through life together for 28 years. He possessed a quiet strength, a presence that filled every room he entered, making everyone feel secure without uttering a word. His absence left me adrift, unsure of who I was anymore. The days melted into one another. I moved through them listlessly. Friends offered meals, neighbors sent bouquets, people offered platitudes like, "He's in a better place," and "You're resilient, you'll navigate this." But resilience felt foreign. I was numb, hollowed out. My son, Liam, was my only anchor. He was 23, a thoughtful, serious young man who shared a deep bond with his father. After the funeral, he returned home, intending to stay for a short while. I was thankful for the companionship. The silence in our home without Arthur was agonizing. Liam was gentle, attentive. He brewed coffee each morning, tended the garden without prompting, and checked on me more frequently than I cared to admit I needed. Gradually, subtly, things began to change. It started with small acts. He began reorganizing things: my wardrobe, the kitchen drawers, the accumulated mail, always without asking. "Just trying to help, Mom," he'd say. Initially, I was grateful. Then, he started to question my whereabouts. If I went out for groceries or to visit a friend, my phone would buzz incessantly. "Are you all right? When will you be back?" You didn't reply. I felt a growing unease. I rationalized it as grief, telling myself he was simply being protective after losing his father. Perhaps I desperately wanted to believe that. But one evening, I returned home late after dinner with an old friend, a peaceful evening of wine and shared memories. Liam was waiting in the shadows. "Where were you?" he asked, his tone deceptively calm yet sharp. "I told you I was with Eleanor. I was driving, and then we were caught up in conversation." He stepped closer, his voice low. "You should have let me know if you were going to be out so late." Something in his demeanor made me feel small, like a teenager sneaking in after curfew. "Liam," I said, attempting a light tone, "I'm your mother, not the other way around." He fixed me with a stare, and his next words sent a shiver down my spine. "I'm just trying to safeguard what's mine. What's mine? Not who I love, not what remains of our family. Mine." I lay awake that night, disturbed and unsettled. From that moment on, it seemed as though, piece by piece, the house that had been ours was becoming his. He took over bill payments, changed the locks for security, and moved his belongings into the master bedroom. "Not permanently," he assured me, "just for comfort. It's difficult to sleep in my old room with all the memories." I wanted to argue, but I was drained, and a part of me, I'm ashamed to confess, was afraid of being alone again. The breaking point arrived one evening when I discovered him rifling through my jewelry box. When I asked what he was doing, he didn't even look up. "Just ensuring nothing gets misplaced. You've been rather distracted lately," he said gently. "I think it's best if I keep an eye on things. It's still too soon after Dad." That night, I called my sister Maya. I recounted everything: the monitoring, the controlling behavior, the way his voice sounded more like a warden than a son. She didn't hesitate. "Come stay with me," she urged. "Tonight." I packed a small bag and entered the living room. Liam was engrossed in a book on the sofa. "I'm going to Maya's," I stated. He glanced up slowly. "Why?" "I simply need some space. A little time to reflect." "You don't need space," he said softly. "You need someone to care for you. Dad would want that." I gazed at him, truly saw him, and for the first time, I didn't see my son. I saw a young man desperately grasping for control amidst the wreckage of his grief. A young man who had lost his father and was now attempting, in his own fractured way, to replace him. Not as a husband, but as a protector, a guardian, a keeper. I love you, Liam, I said quietly. But this isn't love. This is fear, masquerading as care. He didn't try to stop me, merely watched me leave, his eyes distant. At Maya's, I finally wept. I truly wept for Arthur, for Liam, for the woman I had almost lost. The next morning, Liam texted, "I'm sorry. I'm lost. I think I need help." It was the first honest thing he'd expressed in weeks. We found him a therapist. It wasn't easy. Grief like that doesn't simply vanish. It distorts people. It twists love into something unrecognizable. But he is trying now. Slowly, painstakingly, we are rebuilding. I don't condemn him. He wasn't intentionally trying to wound me. He was attempting to cling to the only semblance of stability I had left him. And what I've come to understand is this: grief doesn't always manifest as tears. Sometimes it manifests as control, as suffocation, as love turned inside out. But I am still here, and so is he. And for now, that is enough.